The Real Take, your weekly real estate news you need to know. Brought to you by Joe Kehrig, one of the most accomplished real estate professionals in the United States. Sponsored by Blueprint to Success, high performance real estate coaching.
Hi everyone, welcome to The Real Take, the weekly real estate news you need to know. Hi, my name is Joe Kehrig. This week we're going to talk a little bit about teams. There's been a lot in the news about teams and the domination of what teams are doing and getting larger and larger. A couple years ago, NAR did a statistic, and I'm sure it's even greater now than it was then, but it was 26% of the agents are part of a team, which is obviously 1 in 4, and I'm sure it's probably more now. And the other thing is team income is up, profit is up for teams 42%, and it's down for the individual 17%. And I think a lot of that has to do with more and more going into the teams and the domination. The Pareto principle that always said 20% of the people will make 80% of the money in the real estate business. Now, to be honest with you, it's really 10% and 90% because these teams dominate. And now what they're talking about is these larger teams and promoting it. Keller Williams, that's basically the way Keller Williams, built their company on having the agents come in and build their individual teams. And EXP, obviously, Glenn Stanford, who comes from Keller Williams, that's what he's done with EXP. And I can remember going to, I was one of the mega masters, for Fidelity Title. And I remember going and everyone in the room, there was like 12 of us I had that we all sold over $100 million of real estate. And, it was so funny because I had a 4-person team and there were guys next to me I was talking to and they had 80, 100, some had hundreds of agents through like 4 or 5 different states. And they're building these mega teams. And what's happening now is, I'll give you a perfect example. I remember when my team, not too many years ago, first hit $100 million in sales. We were one of the top 250 teams in the country. And now we're at, with our small 4-person team, we're at $120 million a year. And we're not even that close in being in the top 250 because you have these teams that are almost like companies. I can remember looking up one in the San Francisco Bay Area because I hadn't really heard of, I wanted to see who their broker was and such forth. And literally there was, I think, 49 agents in this office and they called themselves a team. And I mean, that's not a team, that's a company. But, when they rank the agents, if you put your whole office as a team, that's what happens. So are teams good or are they bad? They're obviously what's going on with the future. Well, I will tell you, I was one of the trailblazers back 30 years ago, building teams. And I built a lot of successful teams over the years. I would not be in this business without being on a team. And the reason why is it's, the one thing about the team is the fact that this business is tough. It will beat you up and hang you out to dry. And sometimes, you'll get off the phone with a client, sit there and go, oh my God, and you'll just be so frustrated. And when there's other people in the office, I can remember sometimes just being so frustrated and getting off the phone and putting the phone down. Maybe it was another agent or a client. I'm sitting there going, what an a-hole. And everyone would start laughing and we'd laugh about it. We'd tell the story and it's over. I will tell you that, almost everything that happens to you in the business, you end up laughing about it, 6 months later. So hell, you might as well just laugh now and not put yourself through the misery. So I'm a huge believer in teams now. These mega teams where they're kind of saying if you have 10 agents, you should build it to 50. If you have 50 agents, you should build it to 100. I don't think there's any right or wrong. There's just different types of teams. I think even if you're a solo, a lone wolf, that you have a team. And your team is obviously maybe your manager, your inspectors, your lenders, your title people. And so you need a team behind you. I do like the fact that the one part about having a team is you don't get stuck doing the $20 an hour work. That was my biggest issue early on in my career, which even though I've had great success, over the 40 plus years, I could have had it much quicker if I didn't feel that no one could do anything as good as I could. And I found out over the years as I matured a little bit that not only could someone do it as good, they could do it better. And what am I doing when my work should be $200 to $500 an hour doing the $20 an hour work? So, there's different ways of building a team, but the team I like the best and what my team is it's been referenced as being like a SEAL team. And the reason why is in the Navy SEALs, they have teams and everyone kind of has a specialty, when they go out on the mission. But at the same point, everyone can do everyone else's job. So my team has always been made up of just licensed professionals. I don't write a check to anybody any month. It's always based on percentages. So I don't have an office manager. I don't have any payroll at all. What I will do is I'll bring in a new agent that's new in the business, and it's actually a pretty good offer. I sit there and go, hey, tell you what, how would you like to make a small percentage of everything I make, and you help me with my business, and at the same point, I'll help you grow your business and grow your business within the team. And it almost sounds too good to be true. And they'll sit there and go, geez, well, they'll be sitting there getting all these checks for 6 months and not sell a house. And they'll come to me and go, God, I feel so bad, because I haven't sold a house yet. I haven't contributed to the team, but I'm getting these checks. Well, the bottom line is I tell them, just remember that 3 years from now, because what happens is after a year, these agents will all become profit centers for me. So in other words, if I'm paying an agent $30,000 to $40,000 a year, if my percentage that I give them is $30,000 to $40,000 a year, they're basically helping me. Now I don't call anybody an assistant. They're all team members. I'm the team leader. But if they're helping me with my $20 an hour work, what happens is they're basically, not getting a salary, but they're getting the $30,000 to $40,000 a year. And they might sit there after the first 6 months in the first year, they might sell a few homes and we're splitting their commission 50-50 because again, I'm helping them with their business. And so I may pay them 40,000 and maybe they make 40,000, they make 20, I make 20. So they end up making 60, and out of that 40 I paid them, I get $20,000 back. So I'm literally now at a point where they're only costing me $20,000. Well, after a year, I fully expect that agent now, maybe the second year they go out and they make $100,000 a year. So I get 50, they get 50, so they're making the 40 that I'm giving them plus the other 50. They're making 90,000, so they're pretty happy. And from my standpoint, is they're making me 50, I'm paying them 40. Now, not only are they helping me with all my business, but they're actually become a profit center. And that's what I try to get agents are. Now, what happens is if an agent gets to a point and they're making a couple 100,000 a year, and at that point their personal business isn't 50-50, it might be 70-30. But let's say they make $200,000 a year. Well, after $200,000 a year, maybe they're making, 110 and I'm making 90. Well, what happens at that point is I will bring another new agent on the team and give that person a small percentage also, because I don't want to hold this other person back by now they should not be doing my $20 an hour work and I'll bring someone else on. I'll still basically pay them the small percentage of what all my commission, because at the same point they're a profit center. They're making me, $90,000 a year. I'm paying them 40. I'm still $50,000 ahead. So that's the way I like building the team, because if you go out and hire someone for $50,000 a year, and let's say you have a slow month, if I had a month where I didn't sell a home, no money's coming out of my pocket because they're not making anything either because they're making a percentage. So I've always liked building the team with agents, and then you build it slowly. The second, then you bring in a third one, then you bring the fourth one, and at some point you have to understand. After, in my case, 4 to 7 years, the agents, because I've helped them grow their business, teach them the business, they end up leaving the business and going someplace else. So with these mega teams, you're going to see more and more teams with these mega teams with 50, 100, and 150. Yeah, they're running businesses. I'm not sure because we'll continue to, um, uh, build our business, and I'm not sure even when we get to the point where we're doing $200 million a year, where we'll hit, the 200 and the top 250 teams, because it keeps growing every year. But here's the one thing too, is the nice part about our situation, because we build our business mainly off referral, we have a very low overhead. When I talk to some of these agents, if they make, 50%, 30, 40, 50%, they're happy. On my team, we have millions of dollars of commissions, and we have less than 10% total expenses. So 90% of what comes in is going into the agent's pockets within my team. So after you'll see this video, there's going to be a little bit of training that you'll be able to tell you a little bit more about my team. But please feel free, email or comment below. And please, if you haven't already, subscribe to our YouTube channel, because you don't want to miss any of this, because not only will you get the daily updates, what you need to know in a real estate business, but you get a little bit of the training after. Again, thanks for joining me this week. Can't wait to see you next week. And as always, always remember to honor the journey.